Welcome to Captive Audience. It's Friday. Hey, it's Friday. We've had Trump for 4 full days, and it's so damn exciting. I am not tired of winning. I am Sunny Danforth, and thanks for joining tonight. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to dive right into Oregon. I live in Northeast Oregon, Umatilla County. And there is a lot going on. Yes, I'm going to cover Trump too. So we're going to give the bad news first and the good news last. We got to set the tone for a fabulous weekend. So in Oregon here, tax foes say those who can leave Portland do. Well, if you don't know, Portland has chosen to change their way of representation. They've added a lot more city council members, and they've neutered the mayor. The mayor truly doesn't have anything to do except give lip service and represent Portland in an official capacity. It's the city councilors and the 4 assistants that they will be hiring. Oh, yeah, their government in Portland got so exponentially larger. But I'm going to get to that. So, Portland is losing people. Not surprising, given that the district attorney that they had before, not the new one, we'll see what happens with that. He says he's going to take care of crime. But the old one, you know what? Let it all run amok. Burned Portland to the ground. Did not care. And the governor went along with it. So tax foes are saying that those that can leave Portland do. And Portland actually never lost any population until 2020. And Multnomah County lost population for the first time since 1987. That's a big deal for a city. The exodus led to a debate over why people are leaving. And many said, well, it's the high taxes. Well, some left-leaning think tank said, no, that's not what it is. In fact, that left-leaning think tank is the Oregon Center for Public Policy. I'm citing an article that was on Wednesday from the Willamette Week. And I saved a few articles that I had looked up on Wednesday with Dawn that I thought I would go ahead and talk about today. So we are, and sure enough, it is taxes. That's why people are leaving. Now, not to surprise you, or you wouldn't find it surprising, that preliminary enrollment forecasts show steeper decline to come for Portland public schools. Well, yeah, when people leave, you have less people in schools. Less people in schools is less money for the school districts. So Portland State University, and I'm citing an article from Willamette Week, another one. Portland State University forecasts the district will lose over 6,000 students in the next 10 years. Well, that is nearly a 15% enrollment decline. And, there are people that are homeschooling. So the researchers forecast the district is, like I said, it's nearly 15% decline. And they are seeing the decline already. So they're just carrying that forward. You can make a statistic for anything you want. You just plug in the numbers. Truly, there's a lot of statistics I certainly don't trust. So, gonna have to see. This downward shift, it's all relevant to what is taking place in Portland, to governance, to taxes, And to the woke, to the DEI, thank God Trump is stopping all of that. But it's not, I think it's a shift that it's a shift that's going to have long lasting effect because a lot of people are just over it, just over it. So a little more on the city council of Portland. They they have got a budget deficit. It's that they've got a budget deficit of $100 million. And while the city council is boosting their staff, they're cutting police and fire. Now, does that kind of sound like California? California just burned up down there, when that's, and the Pacific Palisades is a very wealthy area. Many of the areas that just got torched are very wealthy, wealthy areas. So here you have the Portland City Council plans to figure out its $100 million budget crisis, and it's asked the Portland Police and Fire to provide a 5% and an 8% budget cut, while they hire more staffers to increase the city council budget. Now, this is supposed to be for 6 months. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson defends the city council's increased budget for $4 million by hiring 4 new staffers for each member of the 12-member council. This is how bureaucratic government gets grown. So that's what's happening in Portland. That's the nuts and bolts of it. They don't have the money. I guess they think it's going to fall out of the sky. And they want to cut the 2 main departments that they should be keeping. They should be increasing. You just don't cut fire and police. You absolutely don't. Like at any cost. There are way more things to cut than that. So I'll tell you, when I saw that Portland voted in to have ranked choice voting and then expanded their city council, and as I said, neutered the mayor. The mayor is just there in name only. It used to be the mayor had jurisdiction over the police and the fire and all that. Not any longer. Now it's the councilors. They have got the power. And I'll tell you, Portland, I don't see things getting any better until a change happens there. I truly, truly, truly don't. And so is the governor going to just go, oh, well, here's $100 million? I hope not, but it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. And that I'm quoted from the Oregon Catalyst. I really like the articles that come out. In fact, I will copy and put this one in the comments for you. Yeah, I'm reading a few of your comments here. It's like stupid is as stupid does. It's crazy, but that's the left. The left has control, absolutely. And along with the rest of our state, even though the majority of our state, just by land for sure, is not in the left leaning. We're definitely in the conservative. So Oregon is joining California along with Washington, Arizona, and Illinois against the lawsuits, joining in the lawsuits, against Trump, regarding the birthright citizenship. I'll tell you, that is going to be really interesting. I don't know how you all feel about that. I am not for birthright citizenship. And here in Oregon, we have an industry that is, it's birthing tourism. into Oregon. And Oregon will even pay for it. This is the type of stuff that breaks your state, breaks your city, breaks your state. This shouldn't be happening. And, I think Trump could probably do something to stop that. And the reason I say that is because it's the federal government's job on who is allowed in here. There's countries, many countries, that you can't fly. You cannot fly. Wow, what is that one here? You can't fly if you're X number of months pregnant and whatnot. That would be a good thing to just put a ban for people, women coming in, because it is only women that can get pregnant. You don't need it on people. You only need it on women coming in that, set a term, a limit on that. Australia has it. New Zealand has it. Those are two countries off the top of my head that I know have that restriction. It's not uncommon to not fly because they want you to have your child in your country where you're from. We have a huge Asian influence in our nation coming into Portland that is all about birthing tourism. So it's no surprise that Oregon and California, and of course Washington, the left west coast, is joining in all of that. It's going to be something that goes to our Supreme Court. I hope it gets fast tracked as fast as it can. And there's a lot of talk about, part of the problem with and you've probably heard this from Trump, is with our birthright, with somebody coming in, that one is not legal, the one, parent, two parents are not lawfully here in this country and have a baby, that becomes what's called an anchor baby. And then those people, well, my kid is an American, so I now get to immigrate here. This is not merit-based. This is not getting the best of the best. And that's what we need. We do need to take care of our country. And I believe this wholeheartedly. So with the 14th Amendment, I've got my handy dandy Hillsdale College Constitution here and Declaration of Independence, and I recommend everybody, there's people hand these out for free. Here in Umatilla County, we give these out at 4th of July parades and other times. People that are registering to vote, changing their voter registration, we give them constitutions, pocket constitutions. Not this particular one, but pocket constitutions. Oh, let's see. One say like this, Turning Point USA gives them out. I've got several here on my desk. And anyhow, on the 14th Amendment, and the argument that I'm hearing is that where it says all persons born, it's section 1, and this was ratified July 9th of 1868. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. I guess that is some of the sticking point. That is what I've heard the talking heads, the lawyers talking about and seen on social media. That if you are here illegally, you are not a subject of the jurisdiction because you're here illegally. So, and when you enter this country illegally, you've already broken the law. That's it. That's it. So I'm really liking what Trump is doing with Tom Homan and the immigration and what's going on. But these lawsuits that are coming are they need to be, in my opinion, fast-tracked. And of course, it's all been temporarily put on hold. They expected that. It's got to go the way it goes. And Oregon is going to waste our tax dollars fighting this. I believe it's a waste. And given the makeup of our Supreme Court, I'm ever hopeful that this would get overturned. And yes, there has been a Supreme Court decision on this actually years ago. And it's very interesting to read the Federalist Papers. The Federalist Papers are telling you the discussions and the debate and who was talking as they were creating creating our Constitution and Declaration of Independence. So that's you, as Americans, the more that we educate ourselves about all of this history, the better off we are to actually have our rights upheld. This is going to be a big deal. And I, for one, hope that we don't have anchor babies anymore. I hope birthright citizenship is ended for those that are unlawfully, illegally in our country, because I know of no country that you automatically get citizenship just because you're born there. None. There's lots I don't know. I am not a lawyer. I'm not playing one on captive audience, but it is, this is not at all what we need for our country. As I mentioned earlier, the Supreme Court decision. I'm trying to find it here. The Supreme Court upheld the interpretation that it is right now of the 1898 case. And so, but much like the Chevron case was overturned, that was also a Supreme Court decision. Decisions of the Supreme Court can be revisited and they can be overturned. And I believe what's happening in our country is not the way that our founders interpreted it to happen. That's, I believe. So it wouldn't be retroactive. Those that are here, but there would be a cutoff date. And so I think, in fact, it says in Oregon, for instance, about 2,500 people were born in 2022 to mothers who lacked legal status, and about 1,500 of those children were born to parents who both lacked legal status. The lawsuit said those children would remain citizens under Trump's order, which isn't retroactive, but babies born after February 19th would not. And I'm assuming that would be February 19th, 2025. I don't know. But I'm posting a link to this article that I am quoting from, that is from the JPR, Jefferson Public Radio, this article. And it's Oregon Capitol Chronicles. So I wanted to talk a little about that. And instead of, Tina Kotek, our governor, Trump-proofing Oregon, she should be fireproofing Oregon, but that's not what she's doing. She wants to Trump-proof it against the Tom Homan coming after the illegals that are in our state. And I have to tell you, I live in a community that's about 50% Spanish speaking. I can tell that they're from all over Central and South America. One by the dress, by their height. I spent a lot of time in Central and South America in many countries, years, in fact. And so I see someone go, oh yeah, is it profiling? You bet it is. But when you see somebody that the person who is from Guatemala doesn't necessarily dress like the person from Peru or Ecuador. It is just a little bit different. And you see the native colors and things like that their clothing has. I like it. I like the colors. But Tina Kotek is working to thwart everything. And she has sent an email out to train the state employees on how to counter Trump's initiatives. And this article is today. And on Thursday, Oregon's Department of Administrative Services sent an email to more than 11,000 employees, urging them to complete its Oregon Sanctuary Promise training. I'll tell you, I'm so against that. I frankly, I would like to see our governor arrested for thwarting federal law. This is what she's doing. Now, it is only the federal government is in charge of immigration, period. But like Texas just won, they could stop the illegals from coming in. Now, I think they wouldn't have won if they said we can allow them all in. We're going to find out. We are going to find out about this sanctuary state, sanctuary cities. That is also going to be tested. So we have two big things right now: anchor babies and sanctuary state and sanctuary cities. This is going to be settled by the courts, I do believe. And now in Oregon, it was voted in, and it changed the Constitution in the state of Oregon. That's going to be very different. But I do not believe that even though the state of Oregon did that it can usurp the federal law. I don't believe so. And so we're going to be spending our tax dollars here in Oregon fighting it's not Trump, fighting our federal government, which I personally think is doing the right thing. I believe it's getting onto the right track. And I, for one, this is something that I've very much have been interested to see. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see how this plays out. Absolutely. So the Department of Justice is threatening to prosecute local officials for resisting immigration enforcement. And what I think should happen, so California says they're a sanctuary state, but I don't know if they passed it, or was it an executive order from the governor? Was it the legislators that did it? I'm not sure. Okay, so I don't know that part. But here you have Huntington Beach said, their city council said, we are not a sanctuary state or city. We're not going to be a sanctuary city. And I think every conservative city and county in our state should follow Huntington Beach and say, we're not going to do that. We're not going to be a sanctuary city. We're not going to be a sanctuary state. This is about the rule of law. And people that are in our country illegally, it's unlawful. You do not have the right to be here. Get in line. Come here lawfully. We'll welcome you. So this is just, it's crazy. We're going to have to see how this all plays out. And, so here you have Governor Kotek going, yes, we're going to spend millions, set aside $15 million to fight the DOJ, to fight for immigration and to fight the federal government. And yet, at the same time, the Oregon Department of Forestry got caught being underfunded and needed emergency cash. Remember, she called an emergency session to pay the firefighters of last year. And at the same time, the state forester resigned under public backlash, which included hosting a conference at a luxury resort. Yeah, that means wasting our money. Wasting our money. These people that work for us and it could be in every facet, be it the city, county, state, feds, they don't look at it like they're spending their own money. They just feel it's coming in, doesn't matter. Katie, bar the door. We're just going to spend it. Not everybody's like that, but sadly, I feel way too many are. So here's our governor, instead of being responsible with our money, going, nah, well, that might come back to bite her. Much like it is coming back to, we'll see how it all shakes out in California and Governor Newsom. You know, Trump's there today. Trump is going, yes, I think I was watching a little bit of that before I came on. And, you know, there was a fellow speaking, talking about his house getting destroyed along with his neighbors. And actually, he talked about how he was getting water out of the gutter in a bucket and put it on the fence, trying to save their place. And he asked Trump to put a special person to oversee the money spent. And Trump, right next to him, was Rick Grinnell. I love Rick Grinnell. I've had the opportunity of meeting him a few times, speaking with him. He is so intelligent. Well, you know, he doesn't live there, but he does have a home in Palm Springs. And he says, you know, I got a guy right here. Now, I don't know if Rick wants to do this, but maybe we make something. So he's Trump. This is all Trump's bailiwick. He knows how to rebuild. And so there's going to be some oversight. It is not, I believe, it is not just going to be, you betcha, we're just going to throw you a bunch of money, Newsom. No, he's going to say, he said, I heard Trump a little bit. Oh, I didn't get to hear it all. But I heard him mention the water has to flow from the north. Reservoirs have to be filled. You know, those were, I think, two things that I heard. And then I heard the little bit about Rick Grinnell. This is smart management. And another part is, this is something that countries started doing instead of just giving other nations, like we used to throw money at a lot of nations. We would now go in, instead of giving them money, we go and build this XYZ for them. And I will tell you, that's what the Chinese do. The Chinese, they say, okay, my husband and I were in Tonga, and the Chinese says, we're going to come build you a new hospital in Vavau. And went, wow, this will be interesting. So while we're there, we got to see the Chinese came in, they brought all the materials. And I was thinking that, you know, the Tonganese are going to make some jobs, right? Help out the local economy. Wrong. What they did is they brought the supplies, they brought the labor, they built the hospital, they put everything in it, and they walked away. They got fishing rights for it. That's part of their what they do. But in that hospital, they couldn't even take an X-ray. All they could do is bandage you up. So this is how things should happen: is, you know, get our Army Corps of Engineers to go do this. That's our tax money being spent, right? There's just put some parameters. There's still lots of work to be done. There's just a an immense amount of work to be done quite there. And same with North Carolina, and where the hurricane had that ravished and destroyed North Carolina. And not just North Carolina. That's just the area that is talked about the most. So there's going to be a lot, and Trump has got the smarts. You can't beat a successful builder at this game. He knows how to make that happen, and he knows how to keep control of the money. And because he has signed the front side of a check so much, he understands, that you do need to be responsible with the money. And that's one of the things that I love about him. He has signed the front side of a check. He knows what it is to having to pay that out. And so I look forward to seeing how all that plays out. Yeah, Lori, Trump is miles ahead of Newsom. Absolutely. So, back to how is the DOJ threatens to prosecute local officials and for resisting immigration enforcement, and that is a very big deal. We are going to see some shock and awe. I think we're going to see some things that we've never seen before, and it's because of the approach that with the executive orders that Trump is taking that we are. Tom Homan said, "You're not stopping us. You're not slowing us down. We're doing this." And I saw today, when I first got up on X, I saw today the Department of Immigration, I think it was, I want to say Department of Immigration, had, posted, "Okay, these were the apprehensions today." I go, "Oh, this is good. Let's just keep a running tally." And that is what I believe they plan to do. Because I want to see, and I only heard a little snippet that actually 2 plane loads left today. So it's happening. I love it, and I'm 100% for immigration. Get in line, apply, and get in line. My sister-in-law did. One of my uncles did. Another uncle did. Germany, Costa Rica, and Peru. Have nothing against immigrants. But we have so many things to straighten up. So let's go to, I want to tell you about this. This is something that you might not have heard about. And when I saw this, I went, oh my gosh. This is Oregon. Again, we're still in Oregon. We're going to get over to the feds, over to Trump more. But Oregon courts clear 47,000 residential eviction records. They sealed them, and 50,000 more are under review. So imagine you're a landlord. I'm a landlord. Imagine you're a landlord and you're doing a background check and you have no idea that this person has an eviction on their record. And so I can say this, just because a person has an eviction doesn't mean they automatically get turned down, but it will open the door for a conversation with that person. Everybody has a history. Everybody has a story. Was it because, hey, you know what? They trashed the place. Well, oh, boom. Okay. I don't need anybody trashing a place. Was it because they lost their job for whatever reason? Maybe you got in an accident and lost your job. You couldn't work for a while. There are many reasons to be evicted. But now the Oregon State's court has cleared, they have actually residential eviction records from people's backgrounds, and as a step towards reducing barriers for housing access under a new state law. I had no idea about this until today. The law which was House Bill 2001-2023, ORS 105.164, requires courts to set aside and seal past residential evictions that meet specific criteria. These sealed evictions will no longer appear in background checks, legally treated as if they never occurred. And so the Justice Department in Oregon, they manually reviewed approximately 160,000 eviction cases dating back to 2014. So let's see, wait a minute now. Wait. You pass a law that goes into effect this year. Why should it go retro back to 2014? It should be starting now, not go back. And so they looked to determine eligibility. And for me, as a landlord, as a property owner, that I rent to people, and heard a lot of sob stories, and often work. It costs less money to work with a tenant going through something in some hardship, to help them stay there, than it does to turn around a unit that I now have to paint, carpet, do whatever to. It costs more money. I would rather work with somebody and help them be there, but I'm a compassionate person. I'm also a smart businesswoman. And this thing floored me. So it's moving forward, the state courts, so they got to look back at a bunch of cases. And moving forward, state courts will automatically set aside eligible cases annually, creating a more streamlined process for record clearance. But nowhere in this article does it tell me the eligibility. There is I didn't click on the link. There's a link here, and I will do a little more homework on that on the Judicial Department's website about the eligibility specifics, the specificity of all of this. We'll have to see. I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to hide the people. We don't want you to know. In fact, I will tell you, I'm renovating a unit right now, and the estimate was $47,000 because it is trashed. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's trashed. So does that person, and yes, it was an eviction, is that person going to get that expunged from their record so they can go get, yes, you always get references. Absolutely, Marjorie. Yes, you can call landlords and get references. But the first step is you have them fill out an application and they pay for a background check. That's like the first step. And you kind of rule some things out. You have a history here, right? So is that person going to get hidden? And the next person, the next unsuspecting landlord where they move, I don't know. They're going to get suckered in and rent to this person who was quite deranged. And sadly, I think ended up like it was a real sad situation. Very sad situation. And but nobody has the right to just go trash a place, because of whatever. You just don't have that right. And now you get a little bit of a reward. Oh, that's going to be hidden. I'm going to do my own homework on this one. I'll let you know. Yeah. So there are, still in Oregon a little bit here, 2 estate tax cut bills emerging. we do have a little bit of a good news, could be, if they pass. Right now, we have death tax and inheritance tax in Oregon. We have both, and estate tax. So, House Bill 2301 would increase the state's exclusion to $7 million. So, if the bill is sponsored by Republicans, Ed Deal, Mark Owens, and Kevin Mannix, then there is a Senate Bill 124 that would allow some reduction to the Oregon estate tax. Part of this is by adjusting how the tax adjusts for inflation, but they haven't come up with exactly what those amounts would be. And this is going to be, of course, going into the State Revenue Committee in 2025. Both of these bills will. And Oregon has, we have a lot of taxes, and we have a lot of estate taxes. In fact, the estate tax can hit people at when they die to be 10 to 16%. But there are states with no estate tax: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, a lot of them. In fact, most of them, you could say, well over half. And so Oregon could certainly live without taxing people when they die, but that's unfortunately not Oregon's way. We are one of the highest tax states in the nation. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if that passes. Stay tuned. I have a question. I was so happy about Trump's executive order stopping the Green New Scam, but yet, and what he talked about was wind turbines. And some people say, oh, it's a wind farm. No, it isn't. It's industrial wind turbines. But how is that going to affect solar? Because here in Oregon, this article is from Oregon Live. There's a solar boom in Oregon that could reshape rural landscapes and agriculture. So I'm hoping that his executive order would kill this. Am I against solar? No. I actually think, and I'm posting this article here because I actually think that solar is a good thing, especially when it's on your house, a point of use, it's on parking garages, things to help with that. But when they want to do 10,000 acres, 10,000 acres of farmland, so there has been in Klamath County an approval for the largest solar farm to date here in Oregon, and it could very well be the nation's largest. I'm sorry, it's not in Klamath County. It's in Morrow County, on nearly 10,000 acres of farmland. And one really good solar panels are not recyclable. They never create the amount of energy that it took to build them. And one real good hailstorm could kill the whole thing. We had a very large hailstorm a few years back that hit the town of Wallowa, and the houses, the vehicles, I mean, it destroyed sides of buildings, and all the siding and the houses, the cars, the damage was so widespread. And I have seen pictures of solar arrays that are all over the ground, and that have been destroyed by a really strong hailstorm. So here is this project, and it is on over half of this 2/3 of the project is on high value farmland and other soils designated for growing crops. That is what's wrong. If you want to put a solar project on, go put it in scab land where nobody can grow a crop. And I can guarantee you that my representative, Greg Smith, is behind this type of thing. Morrow County apparently welcomes this stuff. And I think it's so sad because once you do this, that ground will never be the same. Even though they have like, well, yeah, after, if it ever gets taken out, we're going to put the soil back. That's hogwash. It is hogwash. So I'm really sad because this is the neighboring county to mine, to the west. And it's just not a good thing. And it's also not a good thing for Oregon, truthfully. It's just breaking our state. It truly is. You know, if Oregon would say that hydro was renewable energy, we wouldn't need another wind turbine or another solar panel anywhere on our high value farm ground, or any farm ground for that matter. But no, it's part of the Green New scam. So I hope that Trump's executive order kills this. That's my hope. So, hey, how about those executive orders Trump's doing? I'm telling you, we've had him 4 full days. Today is the 4th full day. So 4.5 days. And he's just been busy signing. And one of the best ones that I really like that he did, there's so many, was when he signed the executive order for the files declassification of JFK, RFK, and MLK. And then he told the fella standing there, his assistant, give this pen to RFK Jr. It's like, yes, he deserves that pen. So I am looking forward to the declassification. I think it is time the Band-Aid gets ripped away, the classifications, the secrecy stops of classifying everything. Our government does this so much. Oh, yeah. Biden, Lori, I see your comment. Biden would have had 3 lids by now. No, he would have had one for every single day. Are you kidding me? He would have had one for 5 days. Even the inauguration day, it would have been, okay, 3 o'clock, I'm done. I'm lit. I got a lid on it. That's so funny. So, Trump is, he's busy, and the staff is busy. His appointees are busy. It's a wonderful day in America, and this is taking care of our country from, in my opinion, in the correct direction. And but we need to have the declassifications, and we need to stop classifying everything. We need our government transparent. It is our government. They work for us. So it's going to be interesting what comes out of this. It does say in there that there's some time frames. The Director of National Intelligence has 15 days to finalize a plan for the full, complete release of the JFK files, and 45 days to release the files for RFK and Dr. King. So it's happening. It's a damn big deal. The agencies that have been covering this up, and let's see what's in there. Could be a big nothing burger. I don't think so. But it's not just that. He also said that it is also the declassification of files pertaining to their lives and their assassinations and the possible cover-ups. That's where it's going to get very interesting. I'm excited. I'm quoting from PJ Media. I've got a few PJ Media stories here. A huge one. Trump is going to halt the gain of function viral research. There's a report that he is going to do that. I so look forward to that. That needs to happen. Absolutely. If you didn't listen to Trump attended virtually the World Economic Forum, and in there he excoriated the Bank of America CEO to his face, and it in saying, you need to open up your bank to conservatives. And then the same day, the Bank of America issues a statement. And if you're on X, you can read the people that have gone, here's my letter from Bank of America, when I was debanked. It is debunking Bank of America. Bank of America should never have issued. They were stupid. I don't bank with Bank of America at all, but they were stupid to issue that statement. We don't do that. They should have kept their mouth shut, because don't you know, with social media today, people have receipts. People have receipts. And they were posting their letters of going, oh yeah, here's my letter. I was debanked, and they give the year. Maybe they don't post the letter, but they give the year when it happened. And I was subject to being questioned about possibly being debanked, not by Bank of America, by actually US Bank. I left them, said, what you're asking me is things that's none of your business. And I left them. And I do know people that were debanked that are conservative by US Bank. So just beware where you bank. So I love that he just went so balls to the walls at the World Economic Forum. He did it in epic fashion. And, so that's our president. That's my president. I love it. I love what he's doing. And let's see, he's banned biological men in women's prisons. That's another story in PJ Media. He has done so much. He plans to overhaul or eliminate FEMA, he said today. And today he along with, of course, pardoning J6, huge deal. And it's so sad that I saw this morning. I don't know how it is now, but this morning there was a report that the Bureau of Prisons was actually transferring some of the January 6th people to other prisons. And there was the report said, you know what, we didn't know where these people were, but we found them now. And they put their names, they said what prison they were in. It was actually in Kentucky, and said they are supposed to be released. It's amazing what the deep state is doing to keep some of them in. There was one guy who was rearrested after his pardon, and it has to do with a gun possession. Well, I don't know about that, and that'll have to just play out. I don't know. There's a lot happening, and but with the he also then pardoned those that had been the grandmothers that were pro-life, that had been convicted and sentenced. And he pardoned them all before the March of Life, which was today. And he pardoned 23 pro-life activists, that stood and prayed outside abortion clinics. And, he's it's just so wonderful. It's wonderful. We need to get back to having a um, we need to get back to having the blindfold on justice and not have a two-tier system. Go wherever the evidence goes, no matter who it is, no matter where, if they're conservative or not. I don't care. Justice is justice. And that's fabulous. Lori, oh my gosh, Hegseth is confirmed. I love it. And Vance decided as VP as the vote was tied. I am ecstatic. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad, there Tom Tillis, had I read tonight, Tom Tillis, rumored was Tom Tillis, is he trying to thwart Pete Hegseth? Well, you know, it's going. And there is so much on social media. I have to say, if you're not on X, get on X. Follow the people that you trust their sources, and it's so much better than some of the others. I won't even say who other social medias. I also like Truth Social. I'm on Truth Social as well. You can look me up. I just have as my name. I don't do one of those, you don't know who I am. It's all Sunny Danforth. And it's such a good day. Oh, Christy Gnome's being voted on. Wonderful. I like who Trump has surrounded him with loyal people that have been loyal and faithful to him. And it's going to be great. I believe it's going to be great. It's a great day for America. It truly, truly is. So yes, I told you we were going to start in Oregon and we were going to end with good news. And Lori Shaw has broken the best news, or some of the best. Hegseth, you know, um, Hegseth, Pat, I'm not a Fox News fan any longer. I do look at Fox Business in the morning. Wow, did you see the stock market today? Oh my gosh. When I saw it earlier this morning, things were going like gangbusters. I can't believe what Bitcoin's doing. Jeez, it was like at 107,000. And yeah, I'm done with Fox. I don't pay attention to them anymore. But there are so many good things out there, and it's okay if you're with him. But keep praying for our country. Pray that our Trump stays safe, his family stays safe. Oh, you know what else I really like? Fauci got his security detail and his limo taken away today. Yes, our wonderful Secretary of State did that, and some others. Pompeo. Nope, you don't need Secretary of a security service any longer. Don't need it. I love it. We need to, and he's taking away security clearances. It's time to clean house, and he's doing just that. We have a wonderful nation. The whole DEI is getting removed fast. There's so much. There's so much to be thankful for, but I'll tell you, it is because of you and me and people like us that turned out to vote to help Trump get elected. That's how we got here. It wasn't by wishing that some would, it was by action. And we all need to take action in our communities, stay engaged, and pray for our leaders that everybody stays safe. And you know what? I want to say this. I want to close on this. We're not going to agree with everything that happens. We are not, just by nature. We don't agree with our spouses on everything. It is just nature. But if we get 80% of what Trump has promised us, it's just going to be great. And Doji, I call it Doji because I think it's the whole acronym. Um, it is a great thing, and it's going to be great seeing where the cuts come from. In fact, tonight I read a little bleed that said, "Oh, the Fed, people that work that work for us, the Feds, are just going. We're not coming back to work. You know what? If they don't want to come back to work, they can get fired. You have to come back to work in person. You can pull your hair out or whatever, but that's it. Put your big boy pants on and go to work. And if not, if you decide you don't want to, you will lose your job. I believe it. So yep, Trump in your prayers. And Kevin will be back on Monday. I believe Kevin will be back on Monday. And have a super weekend. Go out and have some fun. Here where I live, it was in the 40s today. The sun was out. It was an absolutely beautiful day. I see the mountain has some snow. We don't have any. And it's going to be cold tonight. But just hug your loved ones, be present with them, and count our blessings that I do believe, saved America. But we're not out of the woods. There's a lot of work to do, and it takes good people applying for the jobs. You realize, in fact, if you know anybody who wants a job, needs a job that is conservative, have them apply. There are thousands of them. Okay, have them apply to work for help our federal government. I think it would be very rewarding at this time. So, anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it, and love our audience. And I'll be back next week. Have a